At Apollo, safety is a value, not a priority. We are committed to embracing an injury-free workplace. This video is for informative purposes only and should not be used in place of hands-on training. Make sure you have been cleared by your supervisor before using this machine. Okay, this here is our shear. It does have a capacity of 10 gauge, either mild steel or stainless steel, and that's at 10 foot long. A couple of things that I do when I walk up to it, if it's at the beginning of the shift and you need to turn it on, we just go ahead and turn it on. Switch up here is for your light bar. Turn the lights on. And then you have your on-off switch here. Once you turn the machine on for the day, it shouldn't be shut off till the end of the shift. It needs to stay running at all times. So you turn that on, fire it up. And once it's wound up for a few times, it's ready to go. Before I start to shear, I can adjust my back gauge, which I'll show you right here. This is the dial for it. It's kind of old school, but it does have numbers. It has the inches there and your decimal places there. To move it in or out, you simply just rotate this switch. You got in to move your back gauge in, or out to move the back gauge out. And then hold the green button down and that'll move it. So I'm just gonna bring it in. There is a blue line on this piece right here that we don't want you to run the back gauge back too far, because what it does is it'll end up tripping it and it'll stop and it won't be able to move. We'll have to call maintenance and they'll have to adjust it and bring it back. Now that I've got my back gauge set, I'm ready to go as far as cutting my material. There are certain things that you do need to look out for when using the shear. These right here are the dogs, and these are the guards for the dogs. At no point should you ever put your fingers underneath the guards for anything. And never put your hand past this orange part. That's where your blade is. The dogs will do just as much damage as the blade, believe it or not. And the dogs, what they do is they're gonna clamp down your metal. So they come down, hit hard, right before the blade comes down. Capacity, talk about that. A couple things also is when you are shearing, you need to do one piece at a time, never stack your metal on top of each other. Hearing protection, this thing is pretty loud. Safety glasses, cut level 4 gloves. Now that I got all that covered, I'm ready to shear. Simply just stick your piece of metal in there. Make sure it's under the dogs. And it does have a ruler over here if you do need to use the ruler. Cut it at 40 inches. Hit the pedal, and it's good to go. If you do end up with some large pieces of drop, we'd like for you to pick them up and put them in the rib racks, as it can cause a hazard. Okay, so on the back side of the shear, what you need to make sure is before you actually start your process of shearing, or when you walk up to it, always come around the back and make sure this safety guard is in place while you're using the machine. What it does is just going to prevent people from going behind there. This piece actually comes down as you hit the pedal, it moves, so it can cause a hazard there. And then we just don't want people getting close to anything that's going to move and come down on you. If you do need to take the chain down to grab your pieces and fish them out after you've already sheared, just go ahead and put the chain back when you're done. Remember, Apollo expects each worker to go home in the same condition as they came to work. Anything less is unacceptable. If you're unsure, stop and ask. Home healthy, home safe.